Hello, my name is Gustavo Ribeiro. I'm Editor-in-Chief of the Brazilian Report.
And I'm Quirin, CEO of the Brazilian Report.
And to celebrate our 5th anniversary, we're going to take some questions from members of our Buy Me a Coffee community. If you want to be a member of that community and support independent journalism, you can join us on buymeacoffee.com/Brazilian Report.
And we thank you in advance for your support.
I couldn't answer where do I see Brazilian politics in the next 5 weeks because it will all depend on who wins the presidential election, in which conditions, and what happens in the post-election moment. So it's too complicated to answer. I would say, not to cop out, that I anticipate more and more polarization. And I believe that next government, whoever wins the election, will be having to deal with a lot of very hard stuff. And it will be Brazil will be tougher and tougher to govern. But I can't get into the specifics until we know who will be our president in 2023.
I will add that I totally agree with Gustavo. I think we are living in a more and more polarized world. Brazil is no exception, and I guess it's going to get more polarized year after year, unfortunately. Whew.
You go first.
No, I'm not going to say names. I'm going to mention categories because everyone writes really well, but I have favorite categories. One of my favorites is business and society, actually. I really enjoy reading articles from those two categories. And of course, I also love reading the newsletter that we have. Especially, actually, my favorite is the weekly one, but I like more and more the daily ones.
Yeah, I think I couldn't answer as well because I like all the content from all of our reporters, and I believe they are very different in the way with dealing with the subjects that they cover, and I believe each one brings a different look, a different perspective into things. So, I mean, I like all of our content, and I think I have read, if not every single piece of content we have published, nearly all of them, and fortunately, I'm very proud of the work we have done so far.
I would like to add as well that I'm not only speaking about articles. Actually, I think we are forgetting the podcast, the cartoon, and the videos. I really invite you to watch our videos, which really are getting better and better week after week. With special content and listening to Gustavo on the Explaining Brazil podcast.
Anyone.
Anyone, of course, yes. I'd like also to say that I really enjoyed the special series we did on the Brazilian independence. It was a really great one. You want to start?
I mean, I'm not necessarily known for my optimism in general. I am optimistic about the work we're doing. I am optimistic about the Brazilian Report. I couldn't say that I'm necessarily optimistic about the future of Brazil because, once again, it will depend on how things go politically, and it can derail, and we could have a country further divided, further polarized, and that would be bad for everyone. So no, I'm not, but I mean, I really want very badly to be proven wrong.
I'm more optimistic than Gustavo, definitely, because I think Brazilian people have some very high creativity skills, social skills. So even if we are getting in a more polarized world, Brazilian people are quite amazing in a sense of welcoming you, being generous, being nice. And I think it's quality which are getting really rare today in the world we are living in. So I'm much more optimistic than Gustavo.
But I mean, we are wired differently. I'm a journalist. You think of the business part. So I think it explains why we see the world with different lenses.
Definitely.
Just for a piece of context, a couple of years ago, we had this weekly newsletter that was done by our editor, Ewan Marshall, and every Monday it brought broad issues with Brazilian sports. It was not about the scores, or it was trying to do a deeper coverage into Brazilian sport issues. It was really good. The people that were subscribing were giving us great feedback. But eventually we thought that it wasn't the time to move forward with that. It didn't get the traction that we were hoping for at the time, because we have an audience very centered in politics and business. So we decided not to move forward with it.
I think that maybe we launched this newsletter at an early stage of the life of the company. And maybe in the future we will launch it again. But it was definitely too early to launch such a specialized newsletter, especially since we are specialized in business and politics. So
yeah, I agree.
Sports, I think it's going to be an addition, but like a long-term addition. Like we have many things to go before getting back to sports, I think. We already have the Latin American newsletter, which takes a lot of energy. We are actually structuring the different departments. Latin America is becoming a department itself. We have an editor who manages now the Latin American section. I think before going back to sports, we will need to structure more, like the different things we already have, to consolidate what we have. And then we will be able to go further with different other propositions.
So some of the questions were not necessarily about the company or our anniversary, but we will answer them on Brazilian.report. And some of them we have already in our special election coverage. So you can go to
Brazilian.report. Definitely the launch of the Brazilian Report. The day we launched the Brazilian Report was an epic day. I let you follow with that?
Because we were planning this event and we got journalists from El País, AP and Huffington Post to do a debate with us. I would mediate this debate about fake news, about the polarization of the Brazilian society and of Brazilian politics. And this was October the 19th, 2017. And we picked this spot in Pinheiros to do our event. We had catering service and everything was perfect. But then we found out that there was a football match not far from where we were. There was a U2 concert on the other side. So we were in the middle of a Palmeiras match, a U2 concert, and then it started pouring rain.
Yeah, on the top of that, it was pouring rain. But we had the space full of people. So that was a big success.
We had to postpone the beginning of our event by 45 minutes because nobody was there on the right time. And I mean, if you know São Paulo, you know that if it's 7 p.m. and it's raining and you have a concert not far from where you are and you have a football match not far from where you are, I mean, getting from A to B can take a lot of time. So it was a bit nerve-wracking at first. It seemed a bit ominous, but then everything worked out. And we finished the first day with a lot of subscriptions from people who had attended the event. So it was a great event. And in the end, it was a good omen for the start of our very small company at the time.
Yeah.
I think it was a mix of accidents and, I mean, remember we were living in France and I would often complain about how foreign correspondents sometimes portrayed Brazil and with their filters and maybe not interpreting Brazil the correct way, or analyzing some of the specificities of Brazilian society. And I remember Lauda at one point said, well, why don't you stop bitching about it and do something then? And then I started writing for a French website, and the editor said that, oh, yeah, we see a difference when it's a Brazilian covering Brazil as opposed to a French person covering Brazil. So these two things came together, and that's when we started thinking about doing a journalism company to speak about Brazil in a foreign language, because it is in English that the international discussions are being held, and offer a Brazilian perspective about our country.
Yeah, I think you summed up like properly, you know, the story of how the company was born.
I think it was. Sorry, go.
What do you think that it was?
I would say payment gateways.
Yeah, me too. Actually, yeah, exactly. I would say that, like, payment gateways, it was really the trickiest part of the business. So
because we didn't know much about it at the time. Like, we were still learning the business as it went, and also like Brazilian bureaucracy doesn't help the tiniest bit, because, for instance, we charge our subscriptions in US dollars, but if you are in Brazil, a Brazilian company cannot charge a Brazilian customer in dollars, so we had to do PayPal at the time. But then PayPal adds these layers that you have to have a PayPal account and everything. Yeah.
And we only had like a Brazilian company, and we decided, you know, like to open a company in the United States as well to allow the payment in US dollars. So
to put credit card payments.
Yeah, to put credit card payments, exactly. Yeah,
and
because
I remember
many people were reluctant with PayPal. I don't know why, but
I think because you have to have an account.
The process is quite long. You need to create your account, and then you need to put your credit card, and then you know it's very annoying. So we opted to open a company in the United States, and we got Stripe, and it changed our lives.
Yes, and by the way, this could be also another funny anecdote. It was, I know for people who watched the Breaking Bad series, there was a time when Saul Goodman says, well, we can launder math money with these bogus donations, anonymous donations on the website. And when we started with our Stripe account, Stripe flagged us as maybe we were doing this kind of Saul Goodman thing.
Yeah.
So we got the notice, because we started one day with the Stripe, and then the number of subscriptions just like skyrocketed, because it was so easy. Just put your credit card number and boom, that's it. You're subscribing to our service. And then Stripe was like, this is weird, because this is a US-based company, but the administrators of this account are in Brazil, and the payments are small because our subscriptions start at $3.90. This sounds like money laundering. And then we had like to get this massive amount of paperwork to prove that we were the owners of the Brazilian Report Limitada, which is our Brazilian company, and the owners of the Brazilian Report Inc., and that we were real people. And at one point we were like, okay, is this maybe too good to be true, and we're going to have just 1 month of Stripe, and then boom, that's it. But fortunately we still have, and they already know this is a legitimate business, and there's no problem.
But I really remember the day we got flagged. We were desperate, like, oh my God, you know, like it was so good, and then it's gonna stop, and you know. But no, fortunately everything went well, and now we have like 2 companies, one in Brazil and one in the United States, and it's getting really good.
I think, me personally, I think that we are maturing as a company, and that goes in every sense of this, both like how we organize stuff in the office or how we do our content. We're learning more and more about better ways to get content to our subscribers. And I think one thing that I'm really proud of is that the more we grow and the more we have resources, we are funneling those resources back into producing the best content we can. Our video making was non-existent, and now we have really good, really well done videos. The podcast was almost amateur-like when we started, because it was like, okay, let's do it and see how it goes. And now it is with much more production value. And we don't want to be one of those small journalism companies that only do opinion because they don't have the resources to do special reports and good reporting. And we have, as we grow, we have been doing that. So we had this massive special hunger report that we had people in São Paulo, in Maceió, in Brasília doing. It was a big, huge effort. And we are investing in better ways to make our site offer the best user experience for subscribers. So it's hard to say exactly what is to come, but I think the future certainly looks bright, because we are pouring every ounce of energy we have into making this business better and into making our content better, faster, and more essential for people who subscribe to the Brazilian Report.
Yeah, and I would add that on my side, what I see like in the near future is more innovation on the way we present the articles. We are working on that at the moment. Also more structure, more departments maybe. We already have, we have been structuring the Latin American department. So why not, to structure more like the business department? So maybe more structure and more people and more awards. Because we've been winning awards for 2 years now, and this is quite a great experience, quite a good reward, for the company, for the collaborators, because they see that their work is recognized by their peers. So this is quite a great achievement for us, I would say, especially since we started to present awards like 2-3 years ago, I think, yeah. 2 years ago actually. So 2 years and we already have awards. So it's amazing. Yeah. It's a great trajectory. And
this for a company that started with the both of us and a part-time person.
Yes.
And now we are 11 full-time people. Yeah. Plus we have interns and we have freelance that continuously collaborate with us. So this has blossomed into much faster than I would have imagined when we just started.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that we have people, around different cities in Brazil and in Argentina as well, in Buenos Aires. For us,
so
really,
maybe more countries.
Yeah, more countries. I was thinking about that actually yesterday. Yeah, more countries. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it was really fun to answer your questions, Guy. Thank you to have made them. I think it made us think, to put in perspective what we've been achieving and where we're gonna go. So thank you very much for that, and we hope that you enjoyed to know more about the company, us, the story, and.
Yeah. And no, it's always good to talk about the Brazilian Report. This is our baby, so may the 5 next years be this fun and this challenging and this entertaining for us as the first 5 were. And once again, please subscribe to the Brazilian Report. Journalism needs subscribers, so it's you that are going to help us get to the next 5 more years.
And for the one who are listening to the podcast only, please subscribe to the Buy Me a Coffee community that we'd like to thank very much, because their support was unconditional, and during the pandemic it helped us a lot, because we were waking up every day, covering Brazil, which was in the worst case scenario we could have imagined. And we had the strength, like to continue thanks to our newsletter subscriber and our Buy Me a Coffee member, who really became part, of the story of the Brazilian report.
And thanks to our subscribers and to our supporters, we were able to go through the pandemic without having to cut salaries or lay off people.
Exactly,
we actually increased the size of our company.
We increased the team while everyone was decreasing. We increased the team. That was a great achievement. Yeah, no, that was.
And it was all thanks to the people who support us.
Exactly.
So thank you very much, and let the next 5 years come.
Yes.